Hindsight, it's a wonderful thing. Looking back at the error of our ways. Take my puncture-proof foam-filled tyres, for example.
I can't really actually legit know what to do.
Yeah, lots of things I would go back and change there. But what are the bits of kit and tech that myself and everyone here at GCNTech wishes we had got sooner? Well, in this video, I'm going to tell you that stuff so that you don't all miss out. Now this list is in no particular order, so some items may be of greater importance to you, and some, well, you might already have them. So I'm going to kick things off with a dedicated bike computer or a cycle head unit, such as these. Now there is always the option of using your phone, but using a dedicated bike computer, you're going to have something which is more compact, more robust, and is only going to show you the information and metrics which are relevant to you whilst you're out riding your bike. Now, these come in a variety of different shapes and sizes, and most of the features will be similar throughout all of the different options that are available to you. Most head units will also have a mapping feature built into them, which is super helpful to avoid you getting lost if you're riding in an area which you're not familiar with. They can also pair up and link to a variety of different sensors, such as a power meter or a heart rate strap. Now, I was actually quite slow on the uptake of using a GPS head unit such as this when they very first launched. And back maybe 17, 18 years ago, get this right, I would actually time my training by going out riding, looking at the clock when I left the house, doing however long I needed to ride, and then just looking at the clock when I got back home, and assumed that that was accurate enough for what I needed. And at the time, it kind of worked. But looking back now, I do regret not getting myself one of these bad boys sooner on. So there you go. Cycle clothing next. Now this is a pretty broad category, so I'm going to approach it in terms of whether you are a new cyclist or whether you're perhaps a slightly more experienced one. If you are new to cycling, the best bit of kit that I can suggest getting is tight-fitting cycle clothing, such as tight-fitted shorts with a padded chamois in them. This is really going to revolutionise the comfort that you have when you're out riding your bike. And you're just going to have to sort of accept the fact that they're ever so slightly strange looking. And the same can be said for cycling jerseys, which will have a full-length zip and be a much snugger fit. Now, if you're slightly more experienced and don't count yourself as a complete beginner, it's probably worth looking at a cycling short which has some straps which loop over your shoulders. These are called bib shorts, and they're going to help improve your comfort further still. Now, if you already have a good selection of cycle clothing and consider yourself no longer a beginner, then an item of clothing that I would suggest getting is something such as this. Now this particular example is from Castelli and it's called a Gabba, and it uses a high-tech material which is not only breathable but it's water resistant and will help keep you a little bit warm on the bike. It comes in loads of different options, such as a short sleeve version, which I've got here, a long sleeve version and a gilet or body warmer. Now there are loads of different brands to choose from which all have a very similar type of material, and I would say it's an incredibly versatile bit of kit. You can use it in the springtime, use it in the summertime, it's raining, and it's great as an additional layer in winter. The only reason that I was initially hesitant in using items such as this is because of the slightly higher cost which is associated to these pieces of clothing. But I must say, similar to other items that we're going to talk about in this video, it very much does fall into the category of buy nice once and there's a good chance it's going to last you a very long time. So yeah, I'd suggest getting something like that. Next up, I want to talk about bike maintenance because I feel like it would just be a bit wrong to not discuss that here on GCN Tech. And there are three kind of different elements and components I want to talk about here, and that is a bike work stand, a track pump such as this, and some good quality tools, the ones which you're most likely to need to try and fix your bike. These are a Torx key and a hex key like this. Now when it comes to all of these different components, the main thing that I think I want to get across here is that you're looking for quality and reliability in terms of its construction, and then it's going to make life a lot easier when it comes to fixing your bike. In terms of a work stand, it's worth investing a little bit of extra money into getting something which is made from robust materials, has a reliable clamp, which isn't going to damage your bike. And then by using a work stand instead of, well, rolling around on the floor, bike maintenance is going to be a breeze and you're going to save your back. In terms of some of these tools, well, it's all about having a good quality material that they're made out of. They're going to last you a lot longer, and if you invest in good quality tools, chances are they're going to last you a lifetime. And then when it comes to a pump, it's the same principle again. You want to make sure the materials used are strong and reliable, and it's also going to get you a good quality pump head and an accurate gauge. With so many different options out there to choose from, it can seem pretty confusing. And if you're not sure what to look for, the easiest way to make sure you end up with a product which is robust, reliable and sturdy is quite often to choose from a reputable brand. Now that's not to say that some of the smaller or perhaps lesser known brands aren't suitable to use, but you might just have to do a bit more research to ensure what you're buying is suitable for the job that you want it to do. I want to talk about tyres next, not in terms of upgrading your bike to have tyres, but in terms of upgrading your bike to use a performance set of tyres. It doesn't matter whether you choose a premium tyre and a good quality inner tube, such as a TPU or latex inner tube, or a tubeless tyre setup, which is of a similar standard. By upgrading your tyres, you're going to have increased grip, increased comfort, increased puncture protection, and you're going to have a lighter setup to your bike. Now, all of these things are going to dramatically increase and improve the performance and enjoyment that you have when out riding your bike. Now, I wish when I was racing, I took the tyre performance of my bike slightly more seriously, because there is a huge performance advantage to be had here. Now, I'm not suggesting that you just rush out and spend all of your money on tyres, because that would sound kind of silly. But I can see why people are ever so slightly hesitant on spending their hard-earned cash on a premium tyre, because it is a consumable part which over time is just going to wear out. But it is something I wish I got on board with sooner, because it is really going to help improve your cycling. Although having said that, a performance tyre is only going to be able to work to its best if it's run at the correct pressure, which is more often than not slightly lower than you anticipated. Now, there are loads of really handy online charts to steer you in the right direction in terms of a tyre pressure for the tyre that you're using, and the weight of you, and the weight of your bike, and all of your kit. So as important as tyres are, make sure to get those pressures right as well. Now, the next bit of tech is by far the most expensive on this list, but the great news is that the price of smart trainers is gradually falling and the functionality that you get is gradually increasing. Now, I'm not going to suggest you just head out and buy the most expensive smart trainer out there, but I would suggest getting one that broadcasts power data and can automatically adjust the resistance based off of the indoor workout that you're doing or the indoor training platform that you're riding on. Now, by using a smart trainer instead of an old school classic dumb trainer is going to increase the fun that you have when you're riding your bike indoors, and is going to make indoor training 100 times more fun than just staring at the wall in front of you. So the first indoor trainer I used had zero adjustability, and it made one hell of a racket, and it was kind of fairly boring to ride. But smart trainers these days are super quiet and make indoor training so much more engaging and fun to do. And then finally, if we jump back to just talking about a head unit. So in order to make the most from the mapping features on your head unit, you're going to need to use some sort of mapping software, which is available online and accessed via your computer. Now, there are loads of different options out there, many of which will have a subscription service associated to them to get the most out of all of the different features that they have. Now, I think some of the best options out there are the fact that it gives you access to lots of different data, which has been gathered by, in some cases, millions of different users, and will also give you access to routes which have been generated by people which are maybe in the local area if you're riding in some way that's new to you. And also, it has the fact that there are so many users uploading data that when the map software is creating a route for you to use, instead of just using the most logical point of maybe using a main road to get from one point to the next, the software will go, hey, like 10,000 people have decided to use this small little road next to the main road because it's safer for cycling and is more suitable. So therefore, it's really going to enhance the experience that you get when you're out riding your bike. And as I said, it's super helpful if you're riding in an area which you're not familiar with. So there you have it. Those are the bits of kit and tech which I feel are really going to enhance your cycling experience. And I genuinely do feel I wish I'd got on board with sooner, because I think it would have helped the experience I had when I was cycling. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, give it a like, give it a thumbs up, and let us know in the comments section down below if you have any suggestions of your own. Right, I'm out of here. See you later.